A very good evening to you and welcome to Primetime News on MTV Sports, live from the News First studios in Colombo. I'm Nadim Majid.
And I'm Krishi Panitharatna. We start out the news with a look at your headlines first.
Making headlines this evening, the US confirms that it will bring a resolution against Sri Lanka at the UN Human Rights Council session. Senior lawyer Upul Jayasuriya elected as the president of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. Mirihana Holding Centre belonging to the Immigration and Emigration Department congested. Shots fired at police officers en route to apprehend suspects in Walikanda. One officer injured.
Senior lawyer Upul Jayasuriya was elected to the post of president of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka today.
Senior lawyer Upul Jayasuriya was elected following an island-wide election where votes were cast at 72 polling centres. 3 candidates contested the election. They were President's Counsel Tirantha Walaliyadda, Senior lawyer Upul Jayasuriya and Senior lawyer R.R.S. Thangaraja. 11,600 lawyers were qualified to vote at this election. Following the counting of votes in the Colombo district, Attorney at Law Upul Jayasuriya received 1,471 votes. The other 2 candidates, President's Counsel Tirantha Walaliyadda, obtained 330 votes, while Attorney at Law R.R.S. Thangaraja received 77 votes.
From Colombo and outstations, there has been a clear majority of more than 2,000, which is unprecedented, as it has never been the case with regard to the elections that we have held in the past in the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. This is given more than to me to the causes that I stood for and the principles. It has been observed by the legal fraternity that the rule of law was at stake. The independence of the judiciary was in danger. The dignity of the lawyers and the independence of the lawyers and the judiciary was in danger. So therefore the legal fraternity have got together and given this mandate to carry out the mission with a vision that these principles shall not be compromised in whatever the circumstances. These are sacred principles that the entire legal fraternity shall and will stand by. And I have to carry out that mandate and do whatever is possible through the Bar Association in the resurrection of the rule of law and the independence of the judiciary, judges as well.
On to another one of our headline-making stories. The United States says that it continues to be deeply concerned by allegations of violations of international humanitarian law and human rights.
We continue to be deeply concerned by allegations of violations of international humanitarian law and human rights in Sri Lanka. At the end of this conflict, we support a full accounting for all who are engaged in acts that violated international humanitarian law. We also welcome the report by UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Navi Pillay, noting the strong concern about the government of Sri Lanka's lack of action to address these long-standing issues of reconciliation and accountability. And as you know, we plan to introduce our own resolution on this into the Human Rights Council.
Human Rights Watch has called on the United Nations Human Rights Council to authorize an independent international investigation into incidents that took place during the final stages of the armed conflict in Sri Lanka. Human Rights Watch says that since the Council adopted a resolution on Sri Lanka in 2012, the Sri Lankan government has taken no significant steps to provide justice for victims of abuse and accountability for those responsible. According to Brad Adams, the Asia Director of the Human Rights Watch, the Human Rights Council should put an end to the delays and authorize an independent international investigation.
Meanwhile, Russia has agreed to provide Sri Lanka with 300 million rupees worth of technical and military equipment. The newly appointed Russian ambassador to Sri Lanka, Alexander Kharchava, says that under this agreement, 4 helicopters and other equipment will be provided to Sri Lanka within this year. The Russian ambassador has made this statement at a meeting held this morning with Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne. Alexander Kharchava had also said that Russia is dedicated towards improving security in Sri Lanka. A communique issued by the Prime Minister's office notes that the newly appointed Russian ambassador had also said that Russia will intervene at the UN Human Rights Council to mitigate pressure exerted by Western nations. The Russian ambassador had also said that Russia is holding discussions with political authorities in this country regarding allegations of human rights violations levelled at Sri Lanka by Western nations. The communique issued by the Prime Minister's office states that the Russian ambassador has pledged Russia's support to defeat any resolution that may be brought on Sri Lanka at the UN Human Rights Council, even though Russia is not a member of the Council at present.
A number of books authorized by veteran and amateur writers were presented to President Mahinda Rajapaksa at an event held last evening at Temple Trees. School children were amongst the writers and creative artists.
The British Foreign Office has denied reports that Britain had sold millions of pounds of weapons to the Sri Lankan military last year. Alastair Burt, the Foreign and Commonwealth Office Minister, reacting to a recent media report, noted that a majority of the small arms were provided for private security companies countering piracy in the region. Alastair Burt tweeted, quote, "The UK has not approved exports of small arms to the Sri Lankan military," unquote. Now, recent media reports said that over £2 million worth of small arms were exported to Sri Lanka from the United Kingdom last year. The statistics have been scraped from the UK government database for strategic export control by the Campaign Against the Arms Trade.
A group of police officers who were attempting to arrest a group of suspects in the Ominiyamadu area in Valikanda were shot at today. According to the police, a policeman who sustained injuries in the shooting is currently receiving treatment in hospital.
A group of individuals had stolen jewellery from a house located in the Muthugala Tamil village in the Valikada Police Division the day before yesterday. According to a correspondent in the area, the Valikada Police STF carried out an operation to arrest the culprits following a tip-off. The police officers arrived in the Ominiyamadu village, which comes under the purview of the Valachene Police Division, to inspect a house where the suspect were thought to be in. According to the police, the individuals in the house had opened fire at the police officers. A police officer who was injured in the shooting had been admitted to hospital. The police had recovered some of the stolen jewellery from the house. The police added that 4 suspects had fled to the Vakare area. The police and the army had launched a joint operation since this morning to apprehend the suspects.
Taking a look at a story that we've been following very closely from here at News First. It is yet to be confirmed as to whether the 32 fishermen who were rescued 250 nautical miles off the eastern coast of the island are Myanmarese nationals. Now, the Controller General of Immigration and Emigration, Chulananda Pereira, says that although they have informed the Embassy of Myanmar in Sri Lanka about the fishermen, they are yet to receive a response.
The Mirihana Holding Center, which comes under the purview of the Department of Immigration and Emigration, is currently congested. The congestion has been caused due to the arrival of a group of Myanmarese nationals who were adrift at sea and who were rescued by the Sri Lankan Navy. The Mirihana Holding Center in Nugegoda is equipped to handle a total of 70 individuals. However, the center is currently housing 108 individuals. When News First contacted about the matter from the Controller General of Immigration and Emigration, Chulananda Pereira, he noted that the arrival of a group of Myanmarese nationals had caused the congestion. He added that since there is insufficient room in the holding center, 71 individuals have been detained at the Busa camp. Chulananda Pereira also said that although Sri Lanka acted compassionately and sympathized with the situation of these individuals, the Embassy of Myanmar is yet to take steps to confirm the identity of these individuals. According to Chulananda Pereira, these individuals are believed to be ethnic Rohingyas, a minority group residing in an area between Bangladesh and Myanmar. However, the Embassy of Myanmar is yet to confirm this. The Controller General of Immigration and Immigration expressed concern regarding this situation.
Up next is Action TV.
The subject minister had requested us to cover an event held on Saturday to declare open a Jana Sevana housing scheme which is completed in the Dodam Kumbura area in Rikillagaskada, which comes under the purview of the Hanguranketa electorate. We saw a program on Sirasa TV which was against this scheme. This is because the other side wanted to give some sort of minor benefit to the provincial representative of this media institution and furnish them with false data and false statistics and sabotage this program. They made the provisions for this. So today we are fearlessly stating before the media that Action TV was wrong on that day, Sirasa TV was wrong. Today they have the opportunity to correctly cover the granting of home ownership rights to poor innocent families through the completion of this program. This is an example of the fact that when granted an opportunity to address a gathering at an event, baseless statements flow from the mouths of certain individuals. This public representative claimed that we have engaged in incorrect reporting and now have the opportunity to correct our mistake, when in reality we have never reported on this housing scheme. However, Action TV has carried an expose on the 22nd of July 2011 pertaining to a problem faced by residents of Saliyapura, which is located not far from this housing scheme. The fact that this public representative was unaware that even the foundation had not been laid for this housing scheme at that time is a mistake. The basis for our expose was the fact that plots of land distributed by the Land Reforms Commission among 300 families in 1998 were being redistributed. Against a backdrop where this problem is yet to be resolved, it could be that this public representative is claiming that our reporting is a result of our provincial correspondent being influenced by benefits in an attempt to cover his own failure to resolve the problems of the people. The people bring their problems to us fearlessly and without hesitation because they trust that although some may be politically influenced by benefits, we are not. Although such views may have been expressed in our expose 19 months ago, we did not observe the hasty procedure of naming or pointing fingers at those who are directly responsible for this land problem. Nevertheless, the alteration of facts that has taken place 19 months after our expose may cause the people to reminisce on some choice folklore. There is no reason why the common folk saying Puhul Hora Karin Dane, which translates into the ash god thief can be identified by the dust on his shoulder, could not be included in this reminiscing.
According to the statistics compiled by JB Stockbrokers, there have been 84 new registrations of BMW cars in the month of January. Only 22 such cars were registered in January 2012. 23 new Mercedes-Benz cars have been registered in the month of January. This marks a 109% increase in comparison to values recorded last year. However, there has been a sharp decrease in the number of registrations of small cars. Incidentally, Sri Lanka increased taxes on cars during the first quarter of this year in order to reduce the number of vehicle imports to the country. As a result, the demand for small cars reduced. According to statistics from the central bank, vehicle registrations during the first 11 months of 2012 reduced by 44.5%. During the month of November alone, vehicle registrations reduced by 69.7%.